This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. We're once again back at the Finished Basement Company. Since 1997, they've been providing great award-winning basements for people here in Denver, but also nationwide. Patrick, thanks for bringing us back again. Obviously, you guys are a full basement service company. What we're talking about today is something kind of unique because of the fact you are utilizing technology to be able to get out of your mind, your designers' minds, into and onto paper. How did the design services come about?
Well, it really came from just demand. We had clients that were calling us from all over the country saying, we really would love to see a finished basement company basement, and how would we get that into our home? Our first client was years ago in New York. We flew a designer out, we measured the space, came back, and then we went literally back and forth. This was about 10 years ago. Now, where all of the technology has gone, we have two different options. We'll still fly a designer out, do the measurements, meet with the client. That's what we call our white glove services. The other option is the client in that state can actually do the measurements themselves, following a package that we send out to them, a checklist of things that we need to be able to put into our program. And from there, send that back into us. We have online meetings and we have a complete design package ready for them. And that process takes about 3 weeks.
Wonderful. That is great. So we're talking about something before in the past. You walked into a beautiful basement, you've seen the labor of a contractor, but you knew behind that was a great design. And so what you're able to do now is put that design out there, share with them, collaborate on ideas that they possibly have, and then come together with SLAN together before the work takes place.
That's just critical. You want to start any project like this with a full set of plans, something that has been well thought out, really has the experience behind it that Finished Basement Company brings. I mean, we've been at this for 15 years. We've done thousands of projects. And so when our designers come to the table with a plan, it not only is a plan that is right for that space and right for that client, takes all of their needs into account, but it has all of this experience of what works, what doesn't work, how to make a space flow, what to do with certain elements in the ceilings and posts and all of the stuff that you're just not sure what to do with. When we come in with that design, the clients, they're just blown away. Absolutely. We show them a couple plans and they're, man, I never thought of that. Well, of course they haven't thought of it. They haven't been doing this for 15 years. And so what we're doing now is we're really bringing that talent and all of that experience to our clients, and we're doing it on a national basis.
So as obviously, folks, we're talking about is exciting, it's wonderful to look at, but really you're saving some money for them as well because of the fact that if it's not done right on the get-go, you might have problems later on down the line.
You nailed it there. That's one of the biggest things, and I think the benefit. Not only do you have the great designs, and so when people see our photos on our websites, you know, they get that. They get, man, this is really cool stuff. But when you have a well thought out plan, something that they can then present to their local contractor, then what they're able to do is get apples to apples bids. That's real tough to do unless you have that well thought out plan that they can give to each of the contractors.
It really saves on those change orders.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it eliminates them because everything has been thought through and the contractor knows exactly what they're bidding on. Design up front, when you put the time and the energy into it, the reward that you have is not only a nicer space, something that is, you know, from a design standpoint has much, much better flow than any other basement that you can possibly have, but in the long run, the project ends up coming in on budget because the contractor knows what he's bidding on.
Wonderful. And not only are we saving money on the front end, but on the back end, you're actually making money because as everybody knows, good market, bad market in the housing, a finished basement will add value.
A well-designed basement brings value, right? Because I'll tell you, you can go into a space and if it's not well designed, what happens is a homeowner will go in, a potential buyer, and they'll look at the space and say, wow, this doesn't meet any of our needs. From a design standpoint, it doesn't look that great. It looks like a basement. You don't get any resale on that. A Finished Basement Company basement gets a ton of resale because when somebody walks into one of our spaces, so much of a higher resale because the space is well thought out, people fall in love with it, and everybody knows that it's an emotional buy when you're buying a house. They fall in love with it and they gotta have it.
Speaking of, obviously, like any great architecture you see out there, the contractors don't go out there and just go at it. We're talking about a great design, architects that have put together a great design, and you guys are doing it with basements.
Absolutely. Now, that architectural piece of it is just critical. And so you would never go and start building a home without having architectural plans. Well, a basement finish is a half if it's a story home, and otherwise it's a third of the space. Don't invest in a third of your space without getting proper plans.
What I like about the two options that you guys have here, once again, you guys are known for no surprises. You put it out on paper, try to hit that budget right there and make sure that it comes in the same way. And the same thing with the pricing on the optioning, because the fact you got a flat rate price as well as a per foot price. Go over the options one more time.
This is our full service approach where our designer is going to come out and get absolute exact measurements. What that means is that we can fully specify everything that's going into that project, and we will then create construction drawings that can go out to all of the trades. They can be submitted to the local municipalities for all of the code requirements and for the building permits. That's our white glove option. That's $3 a square foot plus travel expenses. Our work glove option, the client's going to do a little bit of work. And so we send out a packet, which they follow. And it's a checklist, and they go through, they get all the measurements, they take all the photos that are needed, they send that back to us, and then we're able to input that into our AutoCAD system, create plans, have a couple meetings where we're able to be online with them, create a set of design drawings which they can then hand out to their contractors and really be able to say, here's what I want my space to look like. And it's just a great jump forward to be able to start their project.
Wonderful, folks. Their information is at the bottom of the screen right there. You can contact them. It starts with a consultation, but it obviously starts with an idea in your head. These guys are going to take this idea of yours and give you years of experience to find out, is that possible? Is it within the budget that you're looking at? What I love about either option is the fact that you guys can meet with these people online. You've got two things. You're showing them technical specs that the contractors need to fulfill the job, but you're also showing them in 3D rendering. Tell me a little bit about that real quick.
Well, the 3D rendering is just critical because I've seen more basements than anyone in the country, and I still will look at a set of plans, think that it looks perfect, and then I go to 3D and man, something's off. 3D rendering allows you to see things that you just can't see on a plan view. And so the 3D rendering is critical to be able to walk you through, be able to see exactly what your space is going to be like. We can put colors in, we can put finishes on, stone, wood paneling, whatever it might be. The ceiling details. The lighting will even show, it'll show how the lighting's working. I mean, all elements so that you can literally walk through the space and have a virtual experience of your space before you ever go and build. And I'll tell you, it's a lot more friendly to do it in AutoCAD than it is when you're out in the field and you've already built a wall and now you got to tear it down because you don't know how it looks.
Once again, folks, you have full access to the design team here down at the Full Basement Company. Now, because of technology, they're basically able to get this, put it on paper for you, 3D renderings, the whole 9 yards. And just like Patrick was saying, it's not just a basement that adds value to the home, but a luxurious, well-designed and planned basement. And these guys have received awards in the past for you name it. Luxurious basements, standard basements, you name it, you've gotten them all.
We've been really fortunate. We've won over 50 local and national awards. We just recently won the highest award that you can win from the HBA for remodeling. We've won all sorts of awards, and it's because our designers are just so good at what they do.
Wonderful, folks. So if you put on the white glove or the working glove, either way, you're going to end up with a beautiful basement brought to you by the Finished Basement Company. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV.